Half game back of them for that last wild card spot.
They're still the Mets. Time now for Say What? Kirk Cousins is getting acclimated to his rookie first-round center, Garrett Bradbury, but the two might be getting a little too close for comfort. Say what?
Well, I'm going to take it back to how much he sweats again. He promises that it's not a problem in games. And it remains to be seen because his shorts today were soaked. And he says it's not a problem on game day, so the moment of truth Friday night. But apparently, you know, when they keep those domes air-conditioned and you get a break on the bench and you can sit with the cooling fans, I'm hoping that really helps. So that's a big thing I'm going to take away from Friday night is how tough was it to grip the ball after he snaps it to me. If it is tough, we might be in pistol and shotgun all year, which Coach Kubiak and Kevin wouldn't like very much. So, but it's really not posterior. It's really just the whole thing. I mean, I look at his shins, and it's just like, just poor. I mean, it looks like my window after a rainstorm.
I'm going to pull a CC line. Sure, it's not a problem for... He says it's not a problem for him. Yeah, it's not a problem for him. It's a problem for the quarterback.
Well,
he doesn't care if he's sitting there sweating.
Oh, the center doesn't care, right? But
Yeah.
Cousins, it's a matter of him. I want to ask you this, though. Is it legitimate, having played in Minnesota, that because they're in a dome, because it's air-conditioned, that whatever, let's call it hygiene issues the center's dealing with right now during training camp, not going to affect him during the actual games? Or is he just lying to Kirk?
Oh, yeah, he's lying to him.
He's lying.
His butt's going to be real musty. He's going to be sweating. Khalil Mack blocking the Packers. Oh, he's going to be sweating. But this is the remedy for it. You see, you got to make him wear some tights. He's got to wear some tights. Typically going to do around the thigh-high tights. But if they're really a wet butt, if they sweat a lot, then you make them put another pair of dry shorts up under them. So now you don't get it.
Like the Michael Jordan, North Carolina, shorts under the shorts thing.
You definitely have to wear shorts under the shorts. But really, the only problem for Kurt is it's not the front of his hand, it's the back of his hand.
Yeah.
Because the back of his hand
going up.
No, the back of his hand is up in there.
Yeah,
like,
it's up in there.
That $28 million, he went up, he got to go up in there and get it.
Get it.
You got to get up.
Yeah.
And that ball hits, and the top hand goes up.
Oh.
So the center is not trying to keep up. He's trying to go out. So
You're going to start reading things.
I see what's happening. No, in, out, and up. Now I understand exactly
the
where
back of his hand.
sweat's
Wherever
coming
you see
from.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
The back
Now
of his
we're going to
hand.
move on. Yeah. All right. Time for stories to start your morning. We're getting more details about Antonio Brown's injury. Turns out he's sidelined with frostbitten feet. This was reportedly caused by a cryotherapy session gone wrong. You know, you're supposed to wear socks in that thing. They tell you to wear socks. If you don't, that's on you, my friend. See, you ever seen or heard of something like this happening to a player before?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many guys that won't follow the rules. They believe they don't need it, or they get rushed. They try to jump in front of someone in line, don't use the right equipment. Yes, the ice bags. If you leave the ice bag on your hamstring, the back of your knee, if you leave it on there more than 20 minutes, there's a nerve that goes down that could cause you to have drop foot. Burn your skin, there's ice burn. Yes, my right hamstring, ice burn. Leaving it on there, fell asleep, burned my hamstring. For real. The left one is like a cocoa brown. The right one is chocolate. Yeah, you make mistakes like that, but this is, he's better than
Listen,
that.
it's hard to kill Antonio for this.
I'm feeling good today.
I can tell. It's hard to kill Antonio for this because it's not like he got frostbite in his feet going on, you know, trying to scale Mount Everest. He was trying to get better. He was trying to train.
Nick, yeah, he's been using that therapy for years.
But it's at an attempt at getting better.
Every other time, Nick, he got in with the socks on.
He screwed up. But he screwed up.
He didn't screw it up. It was a conscious decision.
He made a mistake. Guy made a mistake. We're going to kill the guy for...
Let me set your feet
he's
on
not
fire.
practicing.
No, I'd rather not.
15th overall pick and former Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins will see his first live NFL game action tonight when Washington faces off against the Browns. See, what do you want to see out of Haskins tonight?
Man, don't make big mistakes. Don't worry about getting sacks because Cleveland is going to be coming. Cleveland got a bunch of new guys on the team. We don't talk about their defense. I believe their defense is going to try to send a message. Typically, the preseason used to be very, very vanilla. But in the last 3 to 5 years, all these coaches are trying to impress people, and we see more blitzes, we see more rare coverages now in the preseason than we ever did before. So for a rookie quarterback, it is more of a challenge than we're used to our rookie quarterbacks facing, Nick.
And listen, week 1 of the preseason, it's exciting because football's actually starting, but it's not really that interesting of football, except for teams that have a quarterback battle or just drafted a quarterback. And this team, it's both. They drafted Haskins, and they have a battle because they have your guy, Case Keenum. So I'm really interested in how well he plays this preseason. Can he? We know he'll start at some point this year. Can he play well enough to where he starts week 1?
Second-year Jets quarterback Sam Darnold made waves yesterday by declining to take part in a birthday message for Tom Brady, one that other players did participate in. He said, quote, "I can't be giving him anything." See, you like the move by Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I'm sure Tom had a long list. I'm sure he wasn't waiting, holding his breath.
Wasn't like, but where's
Him and
Sam
Giselle
Darnold?
sitting there with the birthday cake at dinner. They done put the kids to bed, probably having a nice glass of wine. You think he's like, hey,
I got snubbed by Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I feel slighted. Oh, Sam, don't want to give it up to the GOAT. No, I like Sam's attitude. Tom's got enough friends. Sam needs to create some enemies. He needs to take over that division. If he needs to be the next Tom Brady for the next 7 to 10 years for the Jets. I like the attitude.
Man, you can't wish a guy a happy birthday?
No.
Well, why not? Just wish him happy birthday.
Because that's not my job.
Oh, great. I know it's not his job. It doesn't help the bad.
It's a little soft, man.
It's a little soft?
Yeah, I don't want them guys wishing me no happy birthday. I got a lot of friends, Troy and them. Don't call me on my birthday. Don't call me.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that if I want some birthday wishes, I don't want it coming from I don't want it.
You don't want it coming from
a bunch of guys.
From guys that you go against? Okay.
No.
All right.
No, if you guys happen to have some celebrity singers, rappers
crazy,
and stuff like that,
singers and rappers.
Actresses that want to holler at me, they want to make a video to your boy, I'm available.
You are out of your mind today.
On to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott. Listen, Dak Prescott is negotiating a new contract that will reportedly make him one of the 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. That despite the fact that a lot of fans don't view him as an elite quarterback. Hall of Famer and legendary Cowboys wide receiver Michael Irvin completely disagrees. Says it's insane sometimes when I hear the analysis on Dak Prescott, and this man has won as many games as he's won. It's like everyone's looking for a reason not to believe instead of opening their eyes for all the reasons they should believe. All right, who wants to start with this one? Nick, let me start with you. What's your reaction to what Michael Irvin has to say?
Is Mike Irvin talking to you, or is he talking to the general public?
He's talking to me and the general public. Oh, okay. The people that are fairly evaluating Dak Prescott, which is that he has done a lot of things really well in his first 3 years in the league. Most notably, his teammates seem to love him. He's never missed a game. He has shown the ability that, whether it's a playoff game, even that playoff loss against Green Bay, where I thought he was extraordinary his rookie year, trying to mount a comeback against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, or the playoff game this year, or just over the course of his career in fourth quarters when trailing, the moment's not too big for him. And that is an important thing. And so there are a lot of really good things Dak Prescott does well. But in the era of the greatest passers in the history of football, which is the era we're in right now, Dak Prescott's not a great passer. And to quote a wise man who once said about Tim Tebow, if throwing the football's important, he's never going to be good. If throwing the football's important, Dak's never going to be great. And so he can be good. He's already good. But the Cowboys, because of the team he plays for, he's elevated to a level, and because of the way the owner talks about him, because they're on TV more than anyone, and because they're the league's most popular team, he is discussed in an almost air I do not think he has deserved. And so with respect to the playmaker, who I really like and respect, and I know is one of your close friends, I think the general public is right and Michael is wrong.
Well, the thing about Michael's trying to present a very, very tough case. I think with Dak, we have to slow down and look at some of the things that you mentioned. Because to me, being able to perform, there's so many players that have the talent. And I was talking to a couple of my buddies who I grew up with, and we were talking about some of the things that make me different than some of the other guys who grew up. And we went to college together, played ball, so they were really good athletes. But they said, Chris, man, when it's time to play, man, you are about it and have always been about it. And Dak, to be able to put that star on his helmet, coming in as a backup, 4th rounder from Mississippi State, and to see how he was thrust into the limelight, forced Tony Romo into retirement, and has not looked back. The one thing that I know that even with my skill level, as long as I've watched football, as many quarterbacks I've worked with, as many quarterbacks I've talked to, I don't think it's fair for anyone right now to say that Dak Prescott, at 25 years old, will never be an elite thrower of the football. At Drew Brees, at this age, No one was saying he was going to be an elite thrower. No one was going to say Drew Brees is going to hold almost all the passing records. No, we didn't know that. Because what you don't know in the pros, and there's no draft, there's no test, there's no machine. When you have some type of success, how much is still left in the tank? And that's one of the things. When you get a Nick Saban player, you know it's been tapped into.
Yep.
That player, everything, his potential, Nick has gotten it out, and he only has a little bit of room.
The elevator's at the top of the building already.
Yes, and with that, his throwing motion, his arm strength, he doesn't necessarily have the anticipation. But last year, when they just added Amari Cooper, and they didn't have someone on the other side, they didn't have a competent third receiver, his passer rating went up 14 points. So you tell me after a whole offseason with Amari Cooper, if they add a tight end, maybe with some speed, Michael Gallup, you put Cobb in the slot, he's not going to continue to get better? Now, I don't believe he's a sit-down, come into the room, force multiplier, but I do believe if you put the right pieces around him, I'm going to tell you who he's not. I don't believe he's Andy Dalton. If Andy Dalton was throwing to my man A.J. Green for all them years, I don't believe he's that. I do believe that he is a grade above that.
So I went back and I read all of Michael Irvin's comments just to make sure that we were all on the same page. He places an enormous amount of weight, less on what his actual football acumen is and more on his heart and soul, his leadership skills, his ability to walk into a room and command the room and to command the respect and attention. That's how he likens Dak Prescott to a guy like Tom Brady, which we all scoff and laugh at right off the bat. But he said that those intangibles are actually equally as important as what you can do on the field. How do you feel about that?
I don't think they are equally. I think they are important. I think they are the most important for that position. I think that quarterback's not running back. It's not pass rusher. It is something where what you can do aside from what your combine measurements are going to be, how far you can throw the football, all those things really matter because you do have to be the leader of the team. You do very often have to be the spokesperson of the team. You do have to, in the huddle, you've talked about it, when a quarterback can't get the play out of his mouth because he's so nervous and you got to take over for him. All those things matter more at that spot than any other spot. But talent still wins. And so it's very interesting, the quarterback you mentioned there, because I would like to do a blind reveal. You might have spoiled it a bit, but here's two quarterbacks the first 3 years, if I may, for a second. One of them, Dak Prescott.
Oh, that's why your eye was twitching.
Yeah. So the passing yards per game are very similar. The guy on the right has more touchdowns, but way more interceptions, playoff appearances. It's Andy Dalton's first 3 years. And Andy Dalton made the playoffs every year. Andy Dalton was a good quarterback. Andy Dalton was not going to be the reason you lost football games. But we've now seen Andy Dalton's career. He also was never going to be the reasons you won football games. And so, and Andy Dalton was doing that, by the way, with a running back duo of, I think, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and an older Cedric Benson. And so, who is Dak Prescott really going to project to be, and who has he been so far on what I would consider a good supporting cast around him, the wide receiving corps last year notwithstanding? I think those are very fair questions and criticisms.
So if all of this is about the fact that he's not a good thrower of the football, but he's got all the other intangibles, how much better can he get at that? Can he turn himself into a great, elite football thrower?
Right. Well, one thing about Dak, it's not that he's a bad thrower of the football. All right? It's just that we're in an era where we have so many guys that can flat out sling it. His throwing motion is good. His anticipation is not an elite level. Him being able to fit a ball into a tight spot, it's not an elite level. He plays the quarterback position very conservatively. But can he grow as a passer?
Yeah.
I do believe that. Anticipation can be taught. The more you could get comfortable with, and the better people you put around them. I believe in this new offense that they're going to run. I believe the first thing we're going to see from a changing standpoint, they're going to do more pre-snap motion. They're going to make the defense move around and give Dak some better looks. So hearing stuff coming out of their training camp, they're trying to do some things as far as motion to build set Dak up for success. So I believe players grow. I didn't make my first Pro Bowl until after 6 seasons. And I know there were plenty of people saying he's not going to get any better than that. And then ultimately, I just kept getting better and better and better. I do believe Dak has that type of talent. I don't believe that he has a limit from a throwing game standpoint. He hasn't been real accurate on his deep passes. I do believe that they'll support him, and they'll be better at that this year because that will be the point of emphasis for the Cowboys and their coaching staff this offseason.
And obviously, you know your career better than I know it, but you showed the elite talent the day you walked into Ohio State. You played in 3 bowl games. You were the MVP.
But it's totally different adapting to the pro game. It's like running in mud and running on a grass